for me, I think we need to start cutting rates at the next meeting. And then we don't have to go in a locked sequence of steps. We can kind of see where things are going because people are still worried about tariff inflation. I'm not, but everybody else is. So I would say over the next 3 to 6 months, we could see multiple cuts coming in.
Hey, what's going on, Bull Runners? Welcome back to the channel. Ryan Huggins here, aka Win with Ryan. What if I told you that the crypto market is about to explode, but you're missing one move that could change everything? Today, we're diving into the massive news shaking up the crypto world, the Federal Reserve's urgent call for rate cuts, Robinhood's CEO is pushing for real-world assets, and XRP's game-changing technology. And these aren't just headlines. These are signals of the market shift that you need to know about. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the financial markets today. We're also going to take a look at the red folder news that you need to know about in the financial world this week. And we're going to be jumping into the XRP charts, looking for the most important areas of resistance and support that you need to know about right now. Plus, we are going to be taking a look at the long-term and short-term momentum waves for XRP and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people that you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day doing crypto research like we do for you every single day on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First up, let's head over to CoinMarketCap. We'll check out the overall health of the crypto market. We are trading at $3.83 trillion. On $81 billion worth of trading in the last 24 hours. Fear and Greed Index is in the neutral zone at the 40. Altcoin Season Index slightly ticking up, 54 out of 100. Bitcoin dominance continuing to tick down, still below 58%. Important news coming out this week for the financial markets. PPI, which is the Producer Price Index, we'll find that out on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, we're going to have Consumer Price Index. Plus, we're going to also have our unemployment claims coming out. Those are the major reports that you need to know about this upcoming week. Last week was an absolute bloodbath in the markets as far as news goes, all of it relating to jobs. However, we do have some great responses from the Trump administration we'll be looking into today as well. But first up, as you guys all know, we've been following this very closely. In a bombshell announcement, the Federal Reserve Governor Chris Waller has urgently called for an immediate interest rate cut. As you saw in the video, he went on to say, we need to start cutting rates next meeting, which is coming up. If we go to the financial calendar and advance 1 week, we're going to see Wednesday, September 17th, the federal rates number will be announced. Will it be a 50 basis point cut? There's a lot of talk. Instead of 25 basis points, it'll be dropped all the way to 50 basis points. Stick around, subscribe, because we will keep you updated. As we touched on all week last week, these job numbers kept falling in, and they were awful. Well, Scott Bessent, Secretary of the Treasury, had an amazing interview this afternoon explaining what is actually happening.
Chris, if things are so bad, why was the GDP 3.3%? Why is the stock market at a new high? Because, with President Trump, we care both about big companies and small companies, and you're quoting big companies, but the big company index, the S&P, is at a new high.
Hasbro says they're going to have to increase their prices. Goldman Sachs says 86% of the tariff revenue collected so far has been paid by American businesses and consumers. So just bottom line, Mr. Secretary, do you acknowledge that these tariffs are a tax on American consumers?
No, I don't.
Even though you have companies saying they are going to have to increase prices, and given the fact that 86% of these tariffs
you're quoting Goldman Sachs. So,
yes, Goldman Sachs.
I made a good career trading against Goldman Sachs.
Okay.
As you know, Goldman Sachs pulls a lot of weight in the financial world, but as you heard from Scott Bessent coming out and saying, I made a good career trading against Goldman Sachs, so he thinks he has contrary information, obviously being inside the actual department. We do know that the GDP numbers were spectacular for the last quarter, which we can go back and look at Forex Factory, which was on Thursday, August 28th. The number did come out. It was forecasted at only 3.1%, but the GDP actually launched and hit us at 3.3%, which was extreme growth. But when we take a look at the jobs numbers that did come out last week, 7.38 million jobs were forecasted for creation. Only 4.18 actually were created. On top of that, job creation was supposed to be 73,000. It only came in at 54,000. Unemployment claims, people that are stopping working, having to file for unemployment, was supposed to be at 230,000, but came in at a high number of 237,000. Scott Bessent says he also has a rebuttal for this as well. Jobs are being created. Scott Bessent had a rebuttal for this as well. Take a listen.
What we are seeing is the jobs that are being created are going to either native-born or legal Americans. Most of the jobs created under the Biden administration, they went to illegal aliens.
Well, and I think that there would be a lot of debate over the fact that they went to illegal aliens, but let's keep
no. That's the fact.
Okay.
So he does say the fact is that a lot of the jobs that were being held, that we've gotten rid of, were held by illegal aliens. And now the new job replacement is coming with native-born American. The other interesting scenario that's buried in these numbers that no one talks about is the fact that a lot of the jobs were also federal employee jobs. Because if you remember, the Biden administration was stacking the jobs numbers by just hiring bigger and bigger and bigger amounts into these crazy bureaucracies that did nothing except for give big job numbers. And as we all know, we did just see a firing at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the person who was actually putting these numbers together. And Howard Lutnick comes out and says that was a major part of this whole problem.
This is of numbers, though, that come out of a group like BLS, what the American public, what the world public, the CEOs in America, the Fed, anybody who's making decisions on these numbers, actually, they don't want someone who's there to win. They just want somebody who's there going to give them the most accurate, timely numbers that possibly exist. Just accuracy is probably the only thing that they want. So what I'm asking is today, when we see those numbers, whether we should believe they're accurate.
I think they'll get better because you'll take out the people who are just trying to create noise against the president. Take out the people trying to create noise. Let's get the accurate numbers, because this is going to be the greatest growth economy, right? 6 months from now, a year from today, as these trillions of dollars of plants and factories, you've seen all these pictures. There are just so many factories going in. The employment situation in America is going to be so impressive. Look, we've got 3% GDP growth. Nothing wrong with the growth we're going to have the rest of this year. But the Donald Trump economy, the explosive power of his tariff policy, his plants being built in America, to come home and build advanced manufacturing in America, when that comes starting 6 months from today to a year from today, you're just going to be impressed. I'm going to come on your show and I'm going to make you say, Donald Trump was right, and we are all impressed.
Now, personally, I live in Southern California. I don't see massive growth industries coming into play as far as major manufacturing plants, major technology scenarios, but that's Southern California. Some Northern California stuff is going on. And I do know, in fact, you watching this right now, if you live in a state that you know for a fact that factories are being built around you, ready to be employed, let me know down in the comments. The other thing that we have to keep in mind, these plants, they can go up rather quickly. And we are only 7 months into Donald Trump's term. We do see a lot of companies saying they're going to invest billions of dollars building factories here for workers. So for the next 6 months, are those plants being built and staffed? And then finally going into 2026, 2027, will those jobs actually be in place? And a big update, the Senate has updated us on the crypto structure bill to clarify the tokenized stocks and securities will remain regulated as security.
We did stablecoins first. The Genius Act passed. It's now law. And that provided the momentum we needed to do market structure. So the House passed a market structure bill. It's called the Clarity Act.
Right.
We in the Senate are going to mark up in the Senate Banking Committee a market structure bill in September. The Ag Committee will do theirs in October because they've got the commodities jurisdiction. The Senate Banking Committee has the securities jurisdiction. Then we'll fold them together with clarity and hopefully get this across the finish line by Thanksgiving or at the latest Christmas.
So we do have promising scenarios coming for legislation in crypto as well. And a lot of that legislation is designed to merge the traditional finance world with the crypto finance world. And as we know, Robinhood CEO is also trying to do that on their platform. And he came out with a big time announcement saying it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real world assets.
I believe it will make it easier to invest in American companies if you're outside the world. It will also bring the markets into 24/7 and fully on-chain and get all the benefits that crypto technology levies on these traditional assets. So I think it's time to move beyond Bitcoin and meme coins into real world assets that exhibit fundamental utility.
This is huge for the crypto space because platforms like Robinhood are already a massive gateway for retail investors. And Tenev's push for real world asset mainstream adoption is definitely picking up speed. I mean, imagine owning a piece of a skyscraper or a rare painting with just a few clicks on your phone, and that's the future that he's betting on. For crypto investors, this means projects focused on tokenization could see major growth. So keep an eye on chains like Ethereum, Solana, and spoiler alert, XRP, which we'll talk about next. And speaking of XRP, let's talk about why it's making waves right now. XRP is the native asset of the XRP ledger, which is designed for fast, low-cost border payments. We're talking transactions that settle in seconds for fractions of a penny. But here's the exciting part. The XRP ledger is rolling out smart contract capabilities through new extension. This means that XRP isn't just for payments anymore. It could power decentralized apps, tokenized assets, and more. And with Robinhood's CEO talking about real-world assets, XRP's tech could be a perfect fit for tokenizing real-world assets like property or bonds. Plus, posts on X are buzzing about XRP's potential as a neutral bridge for global liquidity, especially if rate cuts fuel market growth. And let's not forget, Grayscale is announcing that it is their first one-year anniversary Grayscale XRP Trust. XRP is the native digital asset for XRP Ledger, built for fast, low-cost payments with emerging smart contract capabilities. So exciting times for Grayscale, and thank you, Grayscale, for being behind XRP for over a year now. And the reason this is important is XRP's evolving tech ties directly into real-world asset trends, making it a hot topic for viewers interested in practical crypto investment. And before we jump into the charts, let's talk about Eric Trump, who continues to come out and just push crypto in everyone's face.
Every single day. A year ago, Jamie Dimon was saying, we're not going to touch cryptocurrency, and now they're probably running at digital assets faster than anyone. You see what BlackRock's doing. You see, as I mentioned, what Schwab's doing. You see what nation states are doing. You see what states in this country are doing. Look what Texas just voted on, right? In their legislature, literally being able to custody Bitcoin on their balance sheets, right? So all of a sudden you've got all these cracks in the dam that are breaking. The people who get in now are the people who are getting in early. I believe that with all of my soul. And this is a global asset. This is an asset that everybody wants. This is an asset. It's probably the only asset in the world that has limited supply. There's 21 million. There will never be another one, unlike gold, unlike other commodities. And I'm just watching it from afar as for the first time, the capital markets really have access to it or getting access to it. And so I think cryptocurrency is in its infancy. And I think the trajectory of Bitcoin and of digital assets is going to be parabolic. And I really think we're going to have one of the greatest companies in the ecosystem. And that was launched, obviously, minutes ago.
So if you're watching this video and you're into crypto, you are a genius. You are early. As he's talking about, and as we've been talking about for years now, crypto is going parabolic. And a lot of you guys, and us included, have been involved in crypto way before the Trumps. So this is exciting to see massive companies, massive people, massive states, massive countries getting behind crypto altogether. And if you're getting value out of this video, don't forget to subscribe right now and also smash that thumbs up. Also, if you are into crypto, you're newer or you're advanced, but you want to get some more deeper knowledge, don't forget to click the link down in the description. Come join us over here at Altcoin Pro, where we go over everything from market updates. We give out altcoin picks, DeFi yield picks, airdrop opportunities, and nonstop crypto news for you. Make sure you get involved immediately down below. And here are just some of our users getting wins nonstop. 13 hours ago, a win on ENA. 1 day ago, another win on ENA. Perpetual, Mo did it again. 32% gain on SUI, 30% gain on World Liberty Fi. So again, click the link down in the description below. 14-day free trial. We'd love to have you come check it out. See if this is a good fit for you. We have over 900 members worldwide. Help us get to 1,000. All right, so let's jump over into XRP in the charts. As we've been talking about, we do have a massive weekly spider line that we have been bouncing off of now for about a week here at the $2.75 range. We have finally started to make a move back above the 10 exponential moving average on the daily chart. And very positive news, we are likely to bounce above the 10 exponential moving average on the weekly charts. Our current level of support is that $2.75 level. On the weekly charts, our next level of resistance is getting back up into that $3.55 range. which has been a very, very key level, this green spider line. As you remember, when we got to that $3.40 high, unfortunately, it rejected there. And as of recently, just at that $3.45, $3.50 candle body high, rejecting there. Now, we did have the wicks up to that 366, which was great, creating a new all-time high for XRP. And when we take a look down here, our long-term momentum wave is green. So we are bullish on the weekly charts. Now, what's interesting, our short-term momentum had a little blip under the radar here and is starting to potentially turn back to the upside. When we look at our 3-day chart, we talked about this. Short-term and mid-term momentum has dipped all the way to the reset level of 0, and it is ready to make a move back to the upside. Last time, the 3-day charts had dipped to 0 back on June 24th. Then we started to see the move to the upside. That's when we broke from these levels of $2.12 all the way up to the new all-time high of $3.66. All during the shaft trend momentum cycle run to the upside, as we see right here. On the 3-day chart, our long-term momentum wave is still green, still bullish for us, and we did have a nice reset as we just talked about. On the daily chart, also interesting news. Short-term momentum has started to climb to the upside. We've been covering that, and it is a leading indicator. What we're really waiting for, though, is this midterm momentum wave to turn back to the upside as well. If we go back and look historically, when the short term made a move to the upside, we had a little bit of movement to the upside price action-wise. But when this midterm momentum started climbing and we broke above into the green here, that's when we saw a break above the spider line of 229. And we moved up into the 375 spider line that was resistance, has now turned support for us. So what are we looking for right now? Long-term momentum is still bearish, and we're about 2-3 days out before we can get back to the green side. Right now, we are riding red, long-term momentum. But as you all know, very exciting thing happens tonight. Blood moon. We have a new full moon kicking off. There is potential of massive energy behind full moons to the upside. As we see, last time we had a red cross to the green, long-term momentum, plus short-term, mid-term momentum rising the upside, and we had a full moon. Basically, similarly to what's happening right now, price did shoot to the upside. We do have 2 hours and 51 minutes left in this daily candle. The new weekly candle will kick off. Will we then see the mid-term momentum white line start to turn to the upside? We will keep you updated on that tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Jumping down to our smaller time frames here. As we can see right now, our 4-hour short-term momentum, mid-term momentum, both sloping to the upside. We did just break above the 0 line again for a bullish on this lower time frame of 4-hour. Let's check the 12-hour. We are getting very close to breaking back bullish on the 12-hour. That could literally happen in the next 24 hours, so we'll continue to monitor that. And when we do go to the weekly charts, we have 2 hours, 49 minutes left in this weekly chart. Again, what we'd like to see is a break and close of a body above that 10-week exponential moving average. Then we would also like to see on our 3-day chart the same thing, really building that momentum. Because when you go back and you look historically, once price breaks above the 10 exponential moving average, you're significantly more likely to move to the upside. As we saw right here, break above the 10 on the weekly, move to the upside. We're about to break above the 10 on the weekly right now. The bears are fighting hard to try to bring us back to that level, but we'll see what happens over the next 7 days on the weekly chart.